Hey there, welcome to this video series of the Dialogflow Essentials app for ManyChat. My name is Paul, I'm from ManyApps, and I will show you how to use this app. So if you have already installed our template or the app itself, then your app will already be in the app section inside ManyChat settings, which you can find by clicking on Settings and scroll to the bottom of your screen. You will find this menu item called Apps, and you will find your Dialogflow Essentials app right there. Click on the link and you will have 4 fields that you can fill in, 3 of which are pretty important and 1 is optional. The first one is of course the license key or your trial key. If you enter this trial key, you can, as it states there on screen, you can use it for 100 trial requests to see if the app is something that you would like to get. The other entry is the Dialogflow project ID, and the other one is the Dialogflow agent ID. These are pretty easy to get. I will show you that in the next section of this tutorial video. And the last field that you can enter is, in case you are using the trial key, you can enter your email address right here and we will notify you if your trial is about to expire, so you can decide whether or not you want to keep the app. Click Save and your app settings will be saved and it's actually ready to be used. In the next video I will show you how you can get your project ID and your agent ID. So now you want to use the app, but you are not completely sure, or you don't really know where to get the agent ID and your project ID. Well, if you hop on to your Dialogflow Essentials account, you will see this settings wheel right on top of your screen next to your agent name. If you click this wheel, you will see this right here, the Google project, which shows the project ID and then the ID next to it. You can just right click and copy it, and then you will enter that here in the project ID field. Then you need your agent ID. This is also very simple to get. Just click on the integrations menu item on the left side of the screen. You scroll down a little bit, click on web demo, and on top you will see this URL with this unique user ID or a generic user ID, and just copy that one and enter that inside the agent ID field. That's all you actually need to get started. So once you have these covered, let's continue to the next section of this tutorial video. So now you have saved your settings. It's time to go to your template, the one that you downloaded and installed. This is the most simple way to get started. If you want to make it hard on yourself, then just create the app anywhere inside any of your flows that you want to use it. But if you get confused, just go back to this Dialogflow Essentials app template folder and have a look at what is done there. I must admit, it is really simple, so I really trust you in getting to know how this works in just a couple of minutes. Anyway, let's just click on this regular flow sample, and as you can see, we did enter a little information for you there, so you can read up on what it's all about. What we do here is we just ask a simple question. Hey there, what can I do for you today? and whatever a person answers, you don't even have to save this answer as a user field or whatever. We just use the last user input variable, so our value, and we will send that into this action. You can get an action by just clicking the action menu right here, and you can just scroll all the way down, for example, to Dialogflow ES, and you can click on that link, and the action will be displayed here. Click select action and click the only one that is there right now, which will open up your settings screen, and I will show you what we have entered there already. So there's a little manual section right here as well. It will just tell you what to do on each of these fields in this configuration menu. The language setting of your current agent, this can be found in your Dialogflow agent settings as well. If you go back to your agent settings and you click on languages, you can see here it's English. And if you have multiple languages and you want the action for another language on another part of your ManyChat account, just enter the other language, or just select it from the pull-down menu. We have most languages there. Then the platform. For what platform do you intend to use this? Well, actually, Messenger, Telegram, and Facebook Extended are the same code in the backend right now, because as far as we know, it's the same code that is being used. Once that changes, we will just update this, of course. For Instagram, however, it requires a little different code, so we will send that back to ManyChat if you select Instagram here as your platform, as the platform you use. Entities, if you know what entities are, then you don't have to read up on the Dialogflow Essentials manual. If you don't know what they are, and it sounds good that you can actually save people's replies into certain variables, which are called entities in Dialogflow, and save those automatically to your custom user fields in ManyChat, then put this to yes, which is also the default, by the way. And if you are not sure, or you notice that something is going wrong in your account because certain custom user fields are being overwritten by stuff that's coming from Dialogflow, and it's actually not really wanted that way, then there is a chance that you have custom user fields that have the same name as the entities inside your Dialogflow. And in that case, I suggest you just put this value to do not save entities as custom user fields, and try to figure out which one are conflicting. However, if you do want to use it, it's a great way to save custom user fields without doing anything special on your end. The start event, this has to do with events in Dialogflow. It's also not really difficult to understand, but it does require a little bit of knowledge about Dialogflow. So if you don't have that yet, I suggest, again, to read up on the Dialogflow manuals. I will show you a quick sample of what this actually does, and that is, suppose we put welcome here, so welcome, and we save this action like that. What this will do is, whenever this action is being loaded, we will look for an event with the name welcome, and we just serve whatever text response you have configured there. It's either a text response or a flow where you want to send the user. That's all possible. And what this looks like in Dialogflow is as follows. here is the default welcome intent. You can of course name this whatever you want. You can use either of these intents or create a new one, and then you can see here an event section, and this is called welcome. You can create any event that you would like. For example, start ordering pizza, and if this matches, so the configuration value right here for the event matches the event here in Dialogflow, then we will not look at the last user input or the text that somebody just entered, but we will serve the event. Pretty easy if you know how it works. And the context variables, you can use those as well. Of course, this is a little bit more advanced in Dialogflow, so I suggest you really look at the manuals or just check some YouTube videos about context in Dialogflow. Just give yourself 30 minutes and try to familiarize yourself with this. It can be pretty helpful. What they basically do is just remember what question was asked, and if it's within the same context for a number of turns. So for example, if we put a 3 in here, this just means that if I tell them what do you want on your pizza, and somebody says ham, and then enter, and then after that they say cheese, and then their third answer is, for example, onions, then then Dialogflow will understand that those 3 answers belong to the question, what do you want on your pizza? So that's something that you might need. You can use it, it's in here, and if you know how it works, this as well as the event option is pretty helpful. Just click save. I will remove the welcome on my end because I'm not using that right here. Click save, click publish, and you're actually good to go. You can of course use this action very well in your default reply, or as your default reply rather. And we have also added this default reply flow. It's just nothing spectacular, it's just a single action, and as a fallback to any question your users may ask. It's a really good alternative to trying to set up keywords in ManyChat itself, because of course with Dialogflow Essentials you have a lot of flexibility and extra features and whatever you want to do, and it will just work pretty great to use it here. So that's something else. There's just one more thing I would like to add at the end of this tutorial, and that is that you can also, instead of sending people back the text response that you have added in Dialogflow, you can also send the people back to a flow. So I will show you what that looks like in Dialogflow. Suppose you have this intent that will start whenever somebody asks something or when there's an event that you connected to it. You get these text responses. So great, you're testing ManyChat with the new ManyApps app. And then you have another text response. If you like it, you may consider using it. I'll forward you to another flow inside ManyChat. And then select custom payload. You can do that by clicking add responses, and then you click custom payload. And all you have to do is enter this little snippet of JSON code. You will find this in the manual as well. And you just change this content and then the identifier with the content and identifier of your own flow, which you can find in the browser URL section right on top the web page, which says ManyChat.com, and then the additional information. So that's about it. I just want to tell you about our written manual. It has, well, these 7 subjects, and it will tell you all about what you need to know to get this app into your account and get started right away. Please have a look, and if you have any questions, again, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.